Hello, welcome to Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform where we have conversations with and about children and young people in Africa. We also aim to have conversations that inspire leadership, sustainable development, education, skills development, and everything young people. Today is a really exciting day for me. Let me tell you why. 7 years ago, around this time, I was called by World Bank Kenya to attend an interview on Blog4Development contest. So if you've not heard of the World Bank Blog4Development contest, it's basically a concept that started in Kenya, spread to Rwanda and Uganda, to encourage young people to share blog ideas about development on particular topics in 500 words. So in 2016, I participated in this competition. I was one of the 10 finalists, but I did not win. And guys, I was so discouraged. Completely. Like, for me, that was the end of the world at the time. And I think I've mentioned a lot that on this platform. So anyway, life moved on. Of course, it's been 7 years. I have achieved many things. I've been able to accomplish many things. And now, really, my success, I know, is not pegged on one event, one competition, blah, 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 that whole motivation thing. But now, chance, I don't know whether it's chance, it's God's favor, something just happened. So the 2 years after the pandemic, the winners were not able to travel to Washington, D.C. for the spring meetings. So there was a competition across Africa, but they did not travel. Now they're doing a retreat. Guess where, guys? In Cape Town. And who is in Cape Town? Your very own Cynthia Untamed. So they've got the young people from this region, East and Southern African region, to come to Cape Town. I think they're going to have a retreat, be trained, just have an idea of the way forward post Blog4Development competition, essay winning. And guys, I have been invited to go and talk about youth engagement and how Blog4Dev impacted me as a person. Guys, who is God? Who would have known that 7 years later, the Mandela Rhodes Scholarship would have brought me to Cape Town, where I get to address the winners of the Blog4Dev competition, which, guys, by the way, I did not even win. Guys, just follow me today.
For development. So quick quiz, what's a commitment? Does anyone know? There's a highlights, which you're probably familiar with: knowledge, research, and then collective action. I'm going to run you through quickly a few about poverty and what can people do about it. And
40% of that goes to Africa, and yet the continent still remains the most underdeveloped. 70% of the least developed countries in the world are in Africa.
À ce que la Banque mondiale fait de réduire la pauvreté. Et j'ai aussi vu parmi d'autres innombrables activités que vous faites, il y a l'innovation, la participation du genre et tout. Et j'aime à croire que les personnes qui sont ici vont constituer les gouvernements de demain. Alors, j'aimerais proposer...
And we're going to have a couple of prizes that you can win. I'll ask at the end of the presentation for you to share like what your title might be for your next blog. That's where that content ends up. Masika Lisa is the I'm listening, and it's more like a personal side. Your title and your first paragraph are really key for search results. When you type into Google, when you type into the World Bank search and many people search, all you get is that first consumer for significant challenges, has some of the most vulnerable food systems in the world. And then it talks about why tackling that structure and that challenge, the food uncovering this mystery about the World Bank work, all sorts of ideas like that in the first paragraph really work well. Wrote a letter to your country, Elsa, like it was a person, right? So she's saying, as one of your countless children, I've thought about you and I'd like to propose a few solutions. May I?
How do you make that more appealing to them? Especially in a blog sense. I mean, visually you could probably do it because people are more interested in visual social media. Just so we talked about us sending in the blogs, and then there's this back and forth with the editor. And I would like to know how long, like the average text, because some of these blogs will be, time sensitive, especially if you want to write a blog about an event or something.
So input Tugo, or I could use into Tugo. Professor, the next second ready conversations with Oshi.
Right, that's definitely going to catch some eyes, I think.
Right. So the other thing I wanted to ask or maybe comment about when I'm writing, for example, I
read stories about the young Africans changing Africa actually. Personally, when I was younger, I hated being in Africa because all we saw was war and crime on TV, so it felt like it was really bad. So one day, when I discovered the Young African Leaders Initiative, they do share about what the young people are doing, and it really encouraged me, and I'm so in love with Africa. I wait for the young things to help me, but it's very, very important.
Again and again. 3, access to technology. I remember in my visits to schools, children were saying we want access to technology from a very young age. If we don't have that, how are we going to be empowered? And just to emphasize that this technology is not just, everyone has access to technology, but we really need to think about children, young people with disabilities.
World Bank can try and do something like that in other areas, maybe not just regionally, but globally, getting young people more involved. Doesn't necessarily need to be funding or whatever, but just get them involved in whether it be the decision making, the discussions that go on, get them in the rooms where the decisions are being made.
Doing. And for me as well, doing the Blog4Dev, running the Blog4Dev opened very many doors for me. And like Cynthia said, it made me realize that there's so much that needs to be done, and I can also be part of the change and move forward with that. And so my idea of moving this forward is to facilitate for there to be activities that are done.
Yeah, yes, bless you. Congratulations. And you guys, at the end of the session,
entry level, it's not. She was a musician, jazz, had a big hairstyle, she passed away, overdose. Which means
Timer! Here we go. Since I'm ready. In 3, 2, 1, go!
what's that game that you play and you do a dice? It's a common game. Monopoly. No, you do a dice and then
Snakes and ladders.
Yes. What strokes do people like to wear? It's a caprice.
2.
Just throw things out there. Can I get it?
No.
Okay. Okay. What's Will Smith, the other movie that he acted as a clown? Men in Black.
Bonjour, je suis Larmza de Madagascar, je suis Blog4Dev 2021 et j'ai écrit sur un programme de mentorship à l'échelle d'un pays pour aider les jeunes personnes à évoluer après une société post-pandémique.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Mantine et je suis Blog4Dev 2020 de Madagascar. Mon blog, c'était à propos de la promotion des droits de l'enfant, spécialement le droit à l'expression et le droit à l'éducation.
Botswana. I won the 2021 Blog for Development competition, and my blog was basically about promoting a prosperous post-COVID-19 system. I'm basically here to network and gain a lot of knowledge from fellow professionals and colleagues. What I want to tell young people is that it's possible for your voice to be heard. Just look for the right opportunities and everything will come your way.
Hey, how are you guys? My name is Liz Ndinela Shpepe, Blog4Dev winner from Namibia. And my blog was about youth empowerment, empowering the youth to take initiatives, to work together with the government, start businesses, and also for the youth to fight corruption, because corruption is the worst enemy for the youth. My message to you is take action, take initiative to work on yourself. You are responsible for your personal development. And when people see that you are willing to invest in yourself, and then they will come up to support you. You have to start, be responsible for your life. And just keep improving yourself. It's not going to be easy, but just keep improving yourself now and then. Set your standards high, not just for others, but for yourself. Because when you set your standards high, that is when you can demand more from others. What I mean is you working on yourself, improving the way you think, able to think critically.
Hi, my name is Rafael Kambamwene. I'm from Tanzania and I'm the winner of the World Bank's annual Blog4Dev competition for 2021. Fun fact about where I come from, we have Africa's only female currently sitting head of state and government. So that is something that I'm proud of. In my essay, I talked about initiatives that youth can do to help with post-COVID economic recovery. And mostly it was had to do with working from home initiatives, coming up with solutions that will help people with remote working. So as a young person who is passionate about youth engagement, I want to commend the World Bank for organizing such an event. It has been very insightful, useful, and in terms of networking, I would urge that this does not stop here. In future, we can suggest more and more avenues for contact between the World Bank and young people to bridge the gap between the two. Thank you.
Not only me who proposed, but a group of African youth for the African Youth Congress. So Yeah, the title is Africa My Home, Africa My Future. Born and brought in Africa. No, it's Africa. My blood is African, emanating from the root of my ancestors. Born and brought in Africa. The home I know is Africa, and my blood is African, emanating from the root